Hey guys, it's part 2 for my Smashing Sundays post for Freedom Fighters. This is Lily once again, and I'm addressing the topic brought up by Tom Max 26, who requested comments on the eating disorder strategy of recovery, basically phases of the eating disorder: position, power, and presence. I recommend you watch part 1 to understand the whole thing. But moving on to the third phase of eating disorder recovery: presence of the eating disorder pushed out with higher power thoughts that fled consciousness, giving a renewed sense of hope. This one I find, this is kind of one of those things that it's another one of the things that you can use to distract and to validate your feelings, to validate that you are in charge and you have the power, like the second phase we were talking about in part 1, to break the addiction, to break the cycle, the vicious catch-22 of the eating disorder. And I know for me, I read it says higher power thoughts. And I mean, when I think of a higher power, I think of God. And I think of faith and spirituality. And, I'm not going to go off on a long rant about God, because I know I want to respect anybody here who has different beliefs. But I know that I was a very, very strict and angry, solid atheist until I was 21 years old. And it was only after I learned that, it's not other people who define your relationship with God. And I think that's so important to remember too, because with the eating disorder, I know that a lot of people will, a lot of you guys who are watching will define yourself based on what other people are telling you to do, whether it be academics, whether it be looks, whether it be how you should deal with past trauma, etc. We define ourselves by what others want. Even recovery, oh, I had a slip up, other people would be ashamed of me if that were the case. My recovery isn't perfect, so I give up. Those kind of thoughts are very self-deprecatory. They're deprecating to your recovery and to staying positive. And so going along the lines of a higher power thought, it's important to remember that God, your relationship with God, is not defined by what others want you to have in that relationship. You define it. You're talking to God, your prayers, you're calling out to Him for help during your recovery is extremely important. And it shouldn't be defined by what other people are telling you to do. It shouldn't be defined by, oh, I go to church every Sunday and do what my pastor wants me to do, so I am a good God-fearing Christian. Not saying that it's bad to just go to church every Sunday or whatever, but, grow closer to Him in your personal journey for recovery, because I know for me, just reading the Bible, some of the things in it, Psalms, I know Johnny will agree with me on this one, hopefully, but Psalms is an excellent book to read because it speaks to those who are in distress and, how God can help you. And a lot of people, they're like, well, how can God help me? He's obviously put me in this situation. Well, you can make the active choice with God to start making the right steps towards living by His Word. By what He would want for you as His child. Nourishing the temple, as I'm sure you've always heard that God refers to it as, nourishing your temple, taking care of you, focusing outwardly while still taking care of yourself. Because I know a lot of us, we hear, well, you should just focus on other people and you can get over your eating disorder. Or you should focus on other things, you can get over your eating disorder. But it's important to remember that you need to focus on you first, on taking care of you and your body first, so that you can honor God. And then you can move on to helping others to help your recovery. See what I'm saying? So, I guess my point, when I read that my comment on that is, yeah, you want to push the notion, the almost, I guess you could call it idolatry, of putting the eating disorder on a pedestal instead of God, putting the eating disorder on the pedestal instead of, you know, honoring God and recognizing God as the ultimate higher power. And by recognizing God as your ultimate higher power, or, any other higher power, whether it be, an undefined higher being, whether it be, not necessarily even a being, but a certain philosophy like Buddhism or Taoism or, Taoism, it doesn't matter, whether you worship multiple gods or one god or no god at all, but having a presence, which is what it says, having that being in the moment, accepting who you are now, not thinking about the past, not thinking about way in the future. And and in my case, I know that I lose hope when I start thinking about, oh, what I want to do 10 years down the road. Well, I might not even be here 10 years from now, blah blah blah. Focus on what you can do now to help yourself, not what you can do, tomorrow, not what you can do a week, month, year, 10 years. Focus on now. Focus on, okay, I'm going to do that snack. I am going to remind myself that I am a precious child of God with unique qualities that He created just for me. I mean, it says that. Ephesians 2:10 says that you are His workmanship, that He created you for a very special purpose, a unique purpose, just specifically for you. And, and practicing presence can be in prayer, and for those, who don't have a spiritual belief or who want to supplement that, use, yoga, use, Pilates. That's not really focusing on the philosophy aspect or the presence of mind aspects, but yeah, yoga, meditation, excellent sources. And I mean, you can, go and do hatha yoga pretty much anywhere. And I mean, I recommend against, health club, yoga classes, because we can be tempted to overexercise, or because they don't focus on the presence of mind. But, I know at certain universities, community colleges, even community centers, they do really good, very gentle presence of mind exercises of meditation and yoga. And that's a good way to have a presence of mind and to be focusing on things other than the eating disordered thoughts. So I'm sure there's other details that I probably left out, and I'm probably going to think of something else to talk about. But I will wrap this up here. I'm going to be posting another video after these in a little bit. I'm doing an interview for last Sunday. I was very sick and crazy stuff happened. But I wanted to address the topic from last week, which was the actual effects that the eating disorder has on others. And I'm actually doing an interview with my husband, and he's going to be answering some questions that I ask of him. So I apologize that I didn't get that out last week, but I will be posting that after these 2 parts of this last video for this topic for this week. So I appreciate everyone watching, and I would love any questions, comments, feedback, and just so you know, the feedback video will also be posted, or no, it has been posted, I believe. Yesterday it was posted. Leave any kind of feedback that you have. You can also visit my personal channel at Pretty Sailor Usagi, which Usagi is USAGI, and just, yeah, send me any of your thoughts, comments, anything like that. So, yeah, take care, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak on this topic, and I look forward to hearing from you, hopefully. And yeah, just remember that you are powerful, that you have the power and the presence of mind to overcome the eating disorder. Take care.